On this episode of the MasterCraft ProStar 190 restoration project, I will attempt to breathe some life back into this 33-year-old swim platform. I'll be dragging out some old tools and doing my very best on this iconic component of the 1990 MasterCraft. So I tried to strip the platform with some wood cleaner, and it didn't do anything. And so what I determined was that somebody has actually put a permanent varnish on this, and the evidence of that is easier to see on the back. You can see where there's some drips there, and this is just clearly a varnish finish on this, and the bottom is fine, I'll leave that. But the top, I really like the looks of a teak oil finish. Last time we looked at this, I had sanded just part of it, and I talked about how I realized this had a varnish on it. So yesterday I spent about an hour with some stripper, a paint and varnish stripper. I had it on here, a couple different coats, and I worked through trying to get some of this off. Because it's so thin, it doesn't work like a regular stripping process where it'll bubble up and you simply just scrape it off. It was a thin film, so it kind of just crystallized a little bit, and what I did is I used just a utility blade, and I scraped all the surfaces, including inside of each of these interior spots. And then once that was done, I've been using a 100 grit sandpaper with my orbital sander, my trusty Makita orbital sander that I've had since I was 14 years old. Still works great. That's a long time ago. I might get a whole lifetime out of that. Anyway, I'm optimistic about how this is turning out. I'm getting through some of the dark spots. Doing the tedious sanding in these joints between all the pieces of wood that make up this platform. I'm just getting all the dark old varnish out from inside these areas. This thing also has some kind of decorative grooves in here. I guess they could be for grip, possibly too. And they're all filled up to the top. They're basically smooth. They've got varnish in them, but it's been sanded. Of course, I've been sanding on it, but even before then, it's been rubbed on, sanded on probably. So I've got an idea to use my router and this little teeny router bit here. Put a straight edge and just run the router right down and see if I can't clean out and create a new clean groove in that. A little nervous about doing that, but I'm gonna set it up and see if it looks like it's gonna be something I can get away with. But we're getting really close, and I'm getting pretty excited about this. This platform on the boat is one of my favorite parts of the MasterCraft in the vintage years. Is these later models, they went to a molded in fiberglass one, and these are just super cool. Super. Okay, I'm done sanding for the moment. Finished up with the 100 grit. I think I'm to the point where I'm satisfied it's not going to get any better than this. There's a couple spots where there's still some darkness. These end grains, I just can't keep fighting those, and I'm not too worried about it. There's a little bit down inside here, but I'm afraid if I just keep going after it with my sander, I'm going to end up making it worse. I've learned that sometimes in my effort to be perfect, I end up ruining things. So I'm going to leave it right there for now. So I'm setting up my router to do the grooves. You can see I got that bit in there. It's lined up with the groove. I've got my 6-foot level clamped on this end, and I'm gonna drag this across here, see if I'm already getting offline here. So I got this side loose. This looks good. We got the router bit set in there, and I gotta tell you, I'm a little nervous about it. Platform has been finish sanded. I used a block, sanded it with the grain with 150 grit. Feels really good. I removed off the edges on all the grooves I cut, and it looks really good. Well, it was great to get to the point in this project where I was able to begin oiling the platform. I used a sponge there, and I just wiped on a very liberal amount of oil so that it could soak into that freshly sanded teak. And I was really happy with how it was looking. The section I'm wiping right there, it had a little bit of grain inconsistency with the rest of the platform. I'm not really sure what the deal with that was, but I think that's just the nature of wood. There are multiple different pieces of teak that make up that platform. And so that's just the luck of the draw. But overall, it looks fantastic. So I'm gonna finish by wiping this coat of oil on, and then let that sit overnight, and then come out the next day and put on another equally wet coat of oil. And once that was all done, I wiped it down and I mounted the platform back on the boat. Well, this was a fun little project. I hope you enjoyed watching me work on the platform for my 1990 MasterCraft ProStar 190. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to my channel, What's Mike Doing, at MWSmitty66. And keep watching, because I've got a bunch of projects to do on the boat.